Hi, this is my monthly wrap up for October. I forgot to upload my thoughts on my October reading. It is now December. So anyway, here it goes. And I actually have clips for what I read at the beginning of the month because I filmed some clips to, I thought I would be able to put up a vlog video of my birthday week, but I did not. So enjoy the clips. That is the first read of my birthday vacation. Since you know what we're going through with the pandemic, I wasn't able to travel or do anything, so I'm just chilling at home doing my everyday routines and kind of things. Like today I am going to work on my nails. I don't know if you can see they are in a bad shape. I haven't been going to the salon, so I thought while I get ready to soak my nails, I'll tell y'all about this novella that I just read. It is called Room for Three and it's by Katrina Jackson, and it is a romance that involves three people. Yes, I said three people. Some people call them a throuple. I've heard it called a poly relationship. It was my first novella, first romance involving more than two characters. So it was a little bit of a shock, and I was, going into open-minded because, romance has a formula, and how do you get a happy ever after ending? Three people. But she does, and there is tension in the novella, but it's not the tension that I thought it would be. So it kept my attention, but I really don't feel like in real life it would go down the way that it does, because the three people involves two females and a male. And the premise of the story is a couple, Callie and Mike, they're man and female and male. They're looking for a roommate, and so they get a roommate named Precious, a second female, and not only is she the roommate, she eventually turns into a third person in their relationship. So as far as writing, sexy scenes, Miss Jackson does a wonderful job with that. It's just, to me, I don't know if those relationship dynamics hold up. I don't know. So if you read any other romances involving more than two people, let me know, because I'm just curious. Now I'm very curious about this type of romance. So I'll check in with you later when I finish something else. I hadn't filmed in the car in a long time. Oh, well, today on my vacation, I am taking my mom to the eye doctor. And so while she's in her appointment, I came outside because I'm not sitting in the waiting room. Get her checked in, let her do her thing. So last night I finished Breathe by Imani Perry. And this is a nonfiction work where Imani Perry is writing a letter to her sons, much like how Ta-Nehisi Coates wrote to his sons in Between the World and Me, and James Baldwin to his nephew. So she follows that tradition, and she's writing these beautiful sentences to her sons about life, but at the same time the reader is going along this journey as she's talking to them about Black history, their world, how being Black males, they're going to be looked at in a different way, as well as bringing history and culture and so much more into it. I absolutely enjoyed reading it. It took me longer than I thought it would because it's only like 150 pages roughly. But I was just taking my time reading through it, so it took me about 3 weeks to read it. But I finished it up on my birthday vacation. So I have started reading The House on Mango Street, and it's by Sandra Cisneros. And this is one of the books that I've chosen to read for Latinx Heritage Month, and it is a classic that many people read during high school. I did not, and so I have wanted to read it. I've had it for a while, and so it's just the part I've read so far, it's just beautiful. It almost sounds like a poem that Esperanza is talking about her childhood, the main characters that I've read about so far. So I am looking forward to finishing it up, and I will check in with y'all later. I finished listening to this audiobook, and it's Lila, and it's by Marilynne Robinson, and she is probably most well known for the Gilead book. I think it won several awards. And so this Lila is one of the continuations of the stories about people in this fictional place called Gilead. It literally didn't have a whole lot going on in the story. It's about a woman who is like a transient who winds up marrying an old preacher in this town of Gilead, and them trying to build a life together with the short amount of time he has left. And it was a pleasant enough read because I generally listen to audiobooks on my way to work. So it was nothing that was like, ooh, got me all tense or anything like that, or all lovey-dovey. It was just okay. And I don't think that's a bad thing. It just wasn't something that was just, grab your attention, let's get into this. But it was just a good, solid book. So after my birthday week and everything else that you saw in those clips, I read a poetry collection called Gun Violence, and it's edited by Chris Greene. And I say poetry collection, but it's actually one poem. It's a communal poem that 100 poets from Chicago, or with ties to Chicago, came together to write this poem. And they use a very interesting poetry technique where it makes the words almost sounds like the ricochet of a gun, because it's called Pantheon. I wasn't familiar with that form, but the first and third lines of one stanza match the second and fourth line of another stanza. So when you're reading the poem, it's like a ricochet effect because you're repeating something that was previously said. And so it just keeps giving that reverberating feel to it. So I love this poem, and there's a little brief bio of each poet at the back of the book. And the poet, each stanza, the poet really only had to write 2 lines because they get the repeat from the previous stanza. So the genius of being able to make this communal poem flow is just amazing. And I will leave the information because you can actually get this poem for free. And I will leave the publisher's information because they reached out to me and asked if I would review it and talk about it on my channel and my social media. So I will leave that information if you're interested in picking up the book. I had a chance to look at their website, and more poets have added to the poem. So that was amazing to be able to see the poem is continuing to be worked on and added to. So the wonderful thing, all reading is wonderful, but with Dee Dee from Brown Girl Reading, we read this book, The Book of Echoes, and that's by Rosanna Amaka, and she is a British author, and we read this in celebration of Black History Month in the UK. And so this is a dual narrative story where you have these 2 characters, Ngozi and Michael. And Michael is in the UK, Ngozi is in Africa, and their lives are going simultaneously, and then they meet together. And also you have this mysterious mother wind, this mother figure that is like a spirit that is moving through both of their lives and watching over what they do. So the story is just amazing. The writing was wonderful. I will leave a link to the live discussion in which the author makes an appearance. And once again, it was a great read for #ReadSoLit. So those were my reading selections for October. I hope you had a good reading month, if you can remember what it was now that I'm 2 months after. And I will see you in the next video.